Welcome back. I have a very interesting and unique event to share with you today. Do you know Ethiopia is the only country in the world that celebrates the New Year in the month of September, known as Meskerem in Ethiopia language, while most countries celebrate on the 1st of January. Please note, this is important. Please note, not all countries celebrate in January. China, for instance, doesn't. However, the focus is on Ethiopia in Africa. Okay, you see, Ethiopians celebrate their New Year in the month of September, and it is 7 to 8 months after most countries celebrate the New Year. You may be surprised to hear that the current year in Ethiopia is 2015, when for almost every country it is 2022. The question is, why? Well, let us travel to Ethiopia and find out. Oops. Okay, perhaps you are unable to jump on a plane and travel with me. No worries. I have been to Ethiopia and back, and I carry out some diggings as to why the Ethiopians celebrate New Year in the month of September every year. Stay tuned. Grab a cup, of course I mean a cup of tea, and then subscribe. Thank you. That said, okay, now we know that Ethiopia always celebrates its New Year's Day in September of each year. The question is, why September? 11th September to be precise, and not January of each year? Well, from my findings, according to documented facts or records, if you like, the number of daylight hours and nighttime hours happens to be exactly equal in every part of the globe once every September. Let me repeat that again. The number of daylight hours and nighttime hours happen to be exactly equal in every part of the globe once every September. Therefore, the sun and the moon are parameters used to count time. And the sun and the moon each have 12 hours before setting. And another reason is based on the biblical doctrines, which says that the creation of heavens and earth took place in September. In addition, Ethiopians believe the month of September signifies the beginning of life. What with blooming flowers, sunny days, and the weather is always very incredible during this period. Okay, now, perhaps you are a bit confused or curious about the name Inkutatash, also referred to as Ethiopia New Year. Stay tuned, no worries, I got your back. Let me break it down. You see, the stories goes back almost 3,000 years to the Queen of Sheba of ancient Ethiopia and Yemen, who was returning from a trip to visit King Solomon of Israel in Jerusalem, as mentioned in the Bible, 1 Kings 10, 1-13. She had gifted Solomon with 120 talents of gold, as well as a large number of unique spices and jewels. And legend has it that King Solomon of Jerusalem gave the Queen of Sheba jewels during a famous visit to Jerusalem some 3,000 years ago. And our return to Ethiopia after receiving the gift coincided with the New Year celebration in September. In addition, when the Queen returned to Ethiopia, her chiefs also welcomed her with inku or jewels to replenish her treasury. Okay, here's the key word you must note. The key word is Inkutatash in Ethiopia, Amharic language, which means gift of jewels. Now I'm convinced you got the picture. Moving on, You see, based on what I said some minutes ago about September, the blooming flower, the sun, and the moon each having 12 hours before settings, and the biblical doctrine, all these key elements help to shape or create Ethiopia's unique calendar. Hence the new year in the month of September is now being called Meskerem. So you want to ask, what is the meaning of the name? Well, it means the first month of the year in Ethiopia dialect. You see, the Ethiopia calendar is similar to the Coptic calendar, which is derived from the earlier Egyptian calendar. Let me repeat that. Which is derived from the earlier Egyptian calendar. And there is the Gregorian calendar created by the Romans, which is widely used by the rest of the world. Okay, this is what you must know. With the Ethiopian calendar, there is a difference of 7 to 8 years, meaning Ethiopia is 7 to 8 years younger than the rest of the world. Or you could say Ethiopia is 7 to 8 years behind the rest of the world. Now, this is key. Please listen to this. This is very interesting. Not my word, and I'm going to quote it. Quote, in the West, the calendar was calculated around AD 525 by Dionysius Hiegus, a Roman monk mathematician, astronomer, who based his calculation for the birth of Christ on an erroneous date for the death of Herod the Great. Let me repeat that because this is key. Who based his calculation for the birth of Christ on an erroneous date for the death of Herod the King. Gross miscalculation, you will say. However, apart from this, there are other factions of the story which I'm not going to discuss here. Meanwhile, let us quickly examine the Gregorian calendar and how the name of the months comes about. Courtesy Fat Monster. Okay. January was named after Janus, protector of the gateway to heaven. February, named after Februalia, a period when sacrifices were made to atone for sins. March, named after Mars, the god of war, signifying that the campaigns interrupted by the winter could be resumed. April, from Aperia, Latin for quote-unquote open buds. May, named after Mahia, the goddess of the growth of plants. June, from Junius, Latin for the goddess of Juno. July, named after Julius Caesar. August, named after Augustus, the first Roman emperor. September, from septem, Latin for 7. October, from octo, Latin for 8. November from novem, Latin for 9. December from decem, Latin for 10. Got the picture? I hope you find the content of this video useful. Okay, here comes the best part. Subscribe, like, and comment. Remember, the goal is to generate wealth, build companies, and then create jobs. Bye now. Thank you. See you soon.